Now in Streamlabs OBS window.
All right,
Button.
let's
You are
go.
currently on a
It is a
button inside of
Wednesday,
web
a
content.
June
To click this
23rd
button,
edition
press Control Option Space.
of
To exit
Blindside
this web area,
Sports.
press Control Option Shift up
Welcome
arrow.
into the program. I'm Emmett Douglas, the host of this program. Quick plugs. You can get me over on Twitter. That's at EmmittNosey04. That's EMMITNOSEE04. Instagram is at EmmittNosey. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Drop a like on the video. Turn your post notifications every time I do a broadcast or a Madden rebuild. We have a lot to talk about this episode here. NBA playoffs are in full effect. Like, I literally only have one NFL story, and it's a big deal, but it's not going to take long to get into. We got Ben Simmons on the menu today. We're also going to be chopping up Game 1 of Hawks-Bucks, and I'm also going to be previewing the upcoming matchup. Also, are the Clippers done? Are the Nets failures? Doc Rivers just simply ain't that good. We're going to be reacting to a take Stephen A. said. I'm super hyped for the show, and I hope you all are too. If you want to be a part of the show, you can comment down below in the comment section, and I will try and check that.
Live 00, live 0, link, refresh chat, link, refresh chat, link, zero viewers.
Alright.
You are currently on
So, let's hop into it. Blindside Sports, I'm Douglas with you.
Press Control Option Shift up arrow.
Ben Simmons. We're going to start here now. Obviously, 76ers lost in 7 to the Hawks, and Ben Simmons was a lot to blame for that. Hold up, I got my computer. I'm still on vacation. I have my normal setup. Ben Simmons is obviously, something. He was to blame for that loss. All right. And he just didn't look himself. It's like he basically he lost his mental capacity. Just went through the roof there, and he just lost it. Basically, I mean, that's really the only thing that I can really say is he lost his mental capacity. And maybe he's just not that good, or maybe the system's misusing him. We're gonna get to that, but so Ben Simmons, he choked hard. Like, in the whole Sixers team, Ben Simmons, Doc Rivers. And the worst part about Game 7 was Trae Young was like 2 for 16 or something like that.
Link, refresh, scene 1, slot click, Ari, button, end stream, live 0, link, 0 viewers.
Yeah, Ben Simmons or Trae Young was like 2 for 16,
press Control Option Shift up arrow.
Which when Trae Young's your best player and y'all lose to that, that's just not a good sign. But let's talk about Ben Simmons. All right, here are my thoughts on Ben Simmons. Do I think Ben Simmons is a good player? Yes. Do I think he's overrated? He was. Now he's just talked about. He's kind of hated on. Everyone expected him to be a superstar, and truly, that's what Ben Simmons. He's a good player, but you have to realize he's not going to be getting you the stat lines of like a LeBron. He just doesn't have that offensive game. I think Ben Simmons could be good in the right system. Now, obviously, he did have that choke in the fourth quarter, which it's just like you say what you want to say, and it's like he was scared, and that's an issue. And this guy's shot is so screwed up. Keep in mind that they want him to try and change shooting hands. All right, and when you shoot 33% in the from the foul line, you're just honestly 33% in the foul line in that series. Keep in mind, you're honestly just a liability. When Doc Rivers, he could take him out of the game. And another thing is, why did Ben Simmons not dunk that? That was rather weird to me how he just didn't dunk the ball. But and here's something interesting here with this fourth quarter. Interesting things. Udonis Haslem took more shots than Ben Simmons did in the fourth quarter. Haslem, 2 shots, 3 minutes. This is all season. Ben in fourth quarters in the playoffs, 1 shot in 44 minutes. All right, that's crazy. My thoughts on this: will Ben Simmons be playing for the Philadelphia 76ers next season? Probably not. I think Ben Simmons, if he's traded to the right system, I think he could be a good player. You shouldn't be expecting 28 and 11 from Ben every night. You should be expecting 14 points, probably less, like 9 assists. You're expecting good defense, and that's really what you're getting for Ben Simmons. Now he's on a huge contract, which is a little scary to think. If you're a Sixers fan, that who knows if a team's going to pull for that. But also, it's people are like, ooh, Ben Simmons. They think they can revive him. I think Ben Simmons still has a chance. 24 years old is young for an NBA player. I think if everything goes right this season, I think Ben Simmons could still be a tremendous NBA player. Where do I think Ben could go? Anything else here? We got. But clearly, Ben Simmons, like, it's just not working out in the for Philly, right? Obviously, him and Joel Embiid, I think their relationship's tense. To fire the Sixers, I'd just be like, all right, trade Ben Simmons, because clearly Joel Embiid's a better player, and that's just something that we all need to we kind of need to wrap our heads around. Is Ben Simmons might be for real. Sorry, gosh, wow, where's I going? Ben Simmons, he's the relationship's over in this Philly. That's what I was trying to say. It's over. Now, let's get into where I think Ben Simmons could go. Couple teams. Do the Thunder want to fork out some draft picks for Ben Simmons and, have like that him and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander offense? Which, if you're a Sixers, you get picks. The Thunder ain't going to be good anytime soon. They have like 63 of them. So, if you get the Thunder's picks, then go for it. And it's really bad teams that people think he should go to. There's a couple other ones. Pelicans of Zion. I don't really like that one. I don't get it. We got another team could go to the Rockets. The Rockets they tried They could have found a couple months ago for James Harden, and they politely declined that trade. Which, if you're a Sixers fan, I'm sure you'd want James Harden right now, but. Yeah, and a couple other teams. The Jazz, I just don't like that. I just don't know why, but I do not like that fit. It just doesn't seem right to me. Because, personally, I'd rather have, just in that situation, I'd rather have Mike Conley. We know it worked. Mike Conley could shoot the ball, and you got Spider Mitchell, who's a great. It could work just doing the feed the Spider attack. It could. I'm not too big of a fan of it. And yeah. So, the last team that I would see him going to, and this is my favorite, I might be an apologist. Don't sue me. Portland Trail Blazers. Let me explain this to you. CJ McCollum, I think, unfortunately, I think it's time to move on. That Lillard-McCollum backcourt isn't working anymore. What you got to do is you got to trade McCollum straight up for Ben Simmons. You get Ben Simmons. What you got to do is you're going to keep Norman Powell. All right, you want to keep Norman Powell. You want to put him at that shooting guard position. You want to put Ben Simmons at the small forward. It'll be like a point forward. And basically all Ben Simmons have to do is play good defense and get assists. I like that one. I don't know if But I don't think it's very likely, just due to the reports that C.J. McCollum, they want to stick with Portland. But I really think if on the Blazers something needs to be done, and hey, if it don't work, it don't work. We're not even that close to winning anyway. That's why I'm shoot my shot. That's shoot the shot with Aaron Gordon. So odds that Ben Simmons plays for the Sixers next year. Just to wrap this up, like I said, probably not gonna happen. I give it a 30% chance that he's not going to play for the 76ers next season. But it's Blindside Sports. I'm Emmett Douglas. We're coming to you live here on YouTube. If you're watching the stream later, just make sure leave a like, drop a comment, hit me up on Twitter if you have any, like, if you want to beef with me on you know, some of these stuff, or some of my topics. And also, when I'm watching these games, y'all get my thought process out loud. Now, so we're going to continue with the 76ers talk. Doc Rivers. What a bad coach he is. Absolutely choking and gagging away another Game 7 loss. He's lost so many home games in the playoffs. It's not even funny. Doc Rivers is overrated. This guy sucks. He is not a good... Everyone's like an all-time great coach. We had a super team at Boston. And if Doc Rivers was a great coach, you would have taken that Clippers team to the finals of CP3, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. Doc Rivers has lost so many... I think it's like the most playoff games in history. And I think the most home losses in playoff history, too. And that's the thing. He had a super team when he won that championship. It was a big three in, like, 2009. And, you know, even I could win with a big three. He's just not that good. And if I were the Sixers, man, I might look to move on from him. I know it was 1 year. I know you can have Doc Rivers just say whatever he wants to say. But especially when you keep Ben Simmons in the fourth quarter, a guy who shoots 33% from the foul line. Like, come on, dude. You should have just benched him. And I hate to say that as, like, I'm kind of defending Ben Simmons over there. I think Ben Simmons just a nose roll. I think Doc Rivers, I think he'd be a good assistant. He might be a good college coach. I just don't see him, you know... I just don't know if I'm ready to say, well, this could lead to, like, NBA success. Now, if I don't know if it's going to truly happen. I think they could, you know, roll one more year with Doc Rivers. Maybe they trade away Ben Simmons, and they're just like, all right, we're going to try this thing again, you know, with someone else. Because, you know, maybe it wasn't Doc Rivers' fault. I'm going to just say with, you know, Game 7 at home, and they blew leads. Like, I'm gonna put the blame on Doc Rivers, and, you know, not all of it needs to go on Doc Rivers. Sorry, I was looking at my notes here, but yeah. That's my Doc Rivers thoughts. All right, now, man, this story, man, just how people on Twitter would absolutely think this. Are the Brooklyn Nets failures? 2 words. I got 2 words for you. Hell no. Alright? No. Hell no. You have neurosis. You have a severe case of neurosis if you think the Brooklyn Nets are a failure. Tell me why. No, KD has played 35 regular season games. Harden 44. So they missed 20 games. Big Three have barely played together. And, you know, they come into the playoffs, you know, Game 1 of the Bucs series, I think they were healthy. And then James Harden had that hamstring injury. He had that right, like he had that hamstring injury, missed 3 games, and it's clear he wasn't healthy. The reason he came back was because Kyrie Irving got hurt. And if you can consider... If you think in your right mind that a injury-brittled team is a failure, then it's usually, honestly, it's a lot of haters. Like, people, they think the same thing about the Lakers. You can't even say the Lakers are a failure, because how does that even work? Like, I don't get it. It's kind of like, you know, this is the analogy I'm gonna give. It's like when you have a test, but you missed, like, the whole week review because you were sick and your parents called you a failure. It just is so out of proportion to me that I don't get it. I think the Nets, I'm not a super team guy. I've grown to hate it. I'm in love with these playoffs. Even though I used to be a Curry fan, I like Curry. I think he's, like, a good player, but where's I going with this? I think the Nets are going to be very next year they're gonna try, if they stay fully healthy, man, watch out. Nets are going to the finals. We're not even done with this season, and I'm picking the Nets to go to the finals next year if everything stays healthy. And that you just can't call a team who all their star players are injured a failure. That's just not how that works, man. Like, maybe if you call the Heat a failure because they made it to the finals last year, I mean, that could be a product of the bubble. That could be. All right, I said no, but I can easily understand that argument. Blindside Sports, I'm Douglas with you. It was a company live here on a Wednesday night. Utah Jazz. If I were a Utah Jazz fan, I would be throwing up. God, what an embarrassment, alright? What an absolute embarrassment. What a gag fest. If I were a Jazz fan, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think I'd stop watching sports. Because, that's an exaggeration. But, Friday night, y'all played the Clippers. The empty-handed, broken, crippled, stepped on, ripped in half Clippers. Alright? And this is going to lead into our next topic. With the Clippers. Who were missing Kawhi Leonard, who's like the bread and butter of that team. The peanut butter and jelly. He's the car keys to the car of that team. Like, how embarrassing. Rudy Gobert got absolutely eaten alive by Terrence Mann. I believe Terrence Mann dropped like 30-something points. Terrence Mann had a feast. And the Jazz had a great second quarter. They were up big. And for... say what I'll say about Spider Mitchell being, hurt. He was dogging. He was carrying that team on his back. And for the Jazz to fall flat against a crippled Clippers team, how embarrassing. God, it's just like, if I were a Jazz, I'm glad not. I'm a Blazers fan, I'm a Hawks fan, I'm a Dodgers fan. I see some stuff, honestly, but it's just like, God, this has to be so embarrassing. This has to be.
Link, 0, lock group, at button, Ari's link, 0.0 dB, mic image. You are currently on an image, inside of web, no visible title to enter, mic/aux, 0.0 dB. Click to switch off, empty group, REC, link, refresh chat. You are currently on a link, refresh, link, refresh, scene 1, button.
The whole Jazz thing was just embarrassing. People are saying Quinn Snyder should be fired.
Press Control Option Shift up arrow.
I'm not gonna go that far. The guy, it was just crazy, and that leads exactly into our next topic: the Los Angeles Clippers, Phoenix Suns. Are the Clippers donezo? Are the Clippers? Will I have to hear a Maller meltdown on the Ben Maller Show, 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. Pacific Time on Fox Sports Radio? Good show. Go check it out. Well, I get to hear that meltdown. Because he's a diehard Clippers fan. And God, speaking of delusion, I even had this in my notes, but I just talking about the Clippers out loud made me think about this. All right, but are the Clippers done? We'll get to that thought in just a minute. It involves Marcellus Wiley. The simple answer, yes, you're down 0-2. But here's the thing. I think the Suns are one of the most strongest teams, strong-willed teams they've had to play. They're down 0-2 without Chris Paul back, who I believe is set to return back to action tomorrow after the coronavirus shut him down for a little bit. I think the Clippers are done. It's been keeping pretty close. Like, Cameron Payne looked like Chris Paul. He did, but it's just crazy to me how, like, the Clippers, man, I'm sorry, Chris Paul comes back. He means so much to that team. I think the series is over. Suns are going to the finals, all right? Let's go over to Marcellus Wiley. This guy's an idiot. well, all the Clipper fans just aren't smart. He thinks it's gonna be easier for the Clippers to win when Chris Paul comes back into the lineup. Okay, what the hell does that even mean? All right, okay, we good? Carl Nassib, defensive lineman for the Las Vegas Raiders, has actually came out as a gay man. Openly gay. He posted a thing on his Instagram story on Monday, basically saying he's gay. He's donating $100,000 to a LGBTQ the foundation to help like kids, cope with being gay or LGBTQ. And a lot of people on sports talk, radio, sports TV, were going pretty big on this. I personally, the thing is, it's good that this happened. We have open. Michael Sam, he didn't play a game for an NFL team. Apparently, that's what people were saying. So like, this is why this is such a big story. Let me get this out here. I have no issue with you being gay. If you like yourself some men, go get yourself some men. If it doesn't affect me, man, I don't roll that way. But if you want to roll that way, man, just go ahead. And if he's gonna come out gay, which I give him credit for, man. I'm sure that's very hard to do in the NFL. I hope his teammates respect him like he's still like their brother. Rich Orenberger tweeted this out. He's like, I respect him he hopes they respect him like their brother, like nothing happened. It would just be wild. And someone, Eddie Garcia, updating. I am promoting so many people. Update guy for the Ben Maurer show. The other day, he says that he brought a good theory into my mind. That Derek Carr, he's a religious man. He thinks, maybe Derek Carr could say something about Carl being homosexual, and he could get under some fire for that. That might happen. I hope it doesn't, man. I don't gay, straight, whatever you are, man. Black, white, man, woman, whatever. Well, I mean, women can't play in the NFL. But, I'm not saying they can't, but, it's not allowed. Okay, don't, feminists, don't come after me. All right, thank you. Yeah. But whatever you are, sexuality-wise, your teammates are your brothers, and they should love you like that, all right? But I went a little bit too long on, no, I didn't. Whatever. That was such a bad segment. I just, didn't write too much down because I thought it was self-explanatory, and I ended up screwing up way more there. We got... Do I want to do the Stephen A thing right now and watch that video, and then we'll come back and we will chop up the Eastern Conference Finals? Oh, okay. I actually saw I saw something else too. That one to get into. We're gonna talk about this real quick. I was supposed to wrap the show up, but this is just a little story, so we're going to go this way. Kristaps, according to a report on Twitter, I believe it was NBA or Hoop Central, was the account that said this. Back at the trade deadline, the Warriors and Mavericks were trying to make a deal on center Kristaps Porzingis. And that supposedly the deal was going to be like Kristaps for Kelly Oubre. Obviously, we had pandemic Kristaps in the playoffs. He was not KP. He wasn't, the KP that, he is. And, the reports were Oubre was actually going to get traded to the Mavericks. And Oubre's kind of been decent this year. And honestly, if that were the Warriors, that'd be a cool thing for the Warriors to get. Now, I don't think Kristaps, who knows, he's going to get traded for now, if the Mavericks even do trade him. Mavericks really absolutely boomed. Their front office situation is, a little screwed, all right? It's a little, it's not, the best front office, but no, they just got their beef out, good on them, all right? And I think, this might have helped the Mavericks out. Kelly Oubre could shoot that ball, and the Warriors get somebody who can play their hearts out. All right, we talked about openly gay NFL player Carl Nassib. We talked about the Utah Jazz being an embarrassment. We talked about the Brooklyn Nets. All right, we chopped all of that up. Anything want to come back to here? We talked about Doc Rivers. So that just leaves us with... Okay, I'm not called basketball guy, but I'm going to do my research for next stream. Probably 2 weeks from now, actually, just because I want to do more, and we'll probably react to some mock drafts. And we'll kind of like we did for the NFL, I reacted to one, but it's Blindside Sports. Emmett Douglas with you, your fine, wonderful host. You can get me on Twitter at EmmettS04. And a couple more stories to get to. I'm thinking we go over and we chop up what Stephen A. said about Devin Booker being the next Kobe Bryant. I didn't watch this video yet, so I'm actually kind of interested to see what
open, 4 of 29.
What happens here.
Safari busy. You are currently on a button. To click this button, press Control.
Now I'll give you guys some context. Stephen A. goes on and says Devin Booker is the next Kobe Bryant. Yeah. Y'all heard it here. Let's watch it.
Play.
40 points, 13 rebounds, 11 assists, triple-double to lead the Suns to victory. Meanwhile, Kawhi...
Pause.
Dude, Devin Booker... Okay, I will say this. I'm going to turn this up. But Devin Booker he basically filled in for Chris Paul there. That was
volume down.
That was
40 volume up button.
Impressive.
Close button.
Devin Booker, what a god, man. That was cool to see. I'm not going to lie to you. Make sure to leave a like on the stream, by the way. Devin Booker just balled out.
Play.
Since injuring his knee in Game 4 of the Clippers series against the Jazz, Paul George has stepped up with Kawhi out, but it wasn't enough to get a win in Game 1. Magic Johnson, which team needs a star to return more, Clips or Suns?
Definitely the Clippers, because I think that with home court advantage going to the Suns, you can win 4 games at home.
Right. Pause.
Yeah, he's not wrong. The Clippers do, they need Kawhi back, but they can't rush it because you don't want Kawhi to be gone next year. And that's the unfortunate thing. I don't think I think his injury is actually rather serious. I think it is a torn ACL. I mean, it ain't good. ACL injuries aren't a joke. So I hope Kawhi. I hope he's all good. But
play.
Give up 3 games on the road. So I think the Clippers need Kawhi. And Kawhi probably wants to play and redeem himself, just like we're seeing Paul George stepping up because of what happened last season. So I would say Kawhi needs to be back more for this series than Chris Paul with the Phoenix Suns.
Couple of things. As an aside, I agree with Magic about that. I'd also like to remind viewing audience out here that they're very, very lucky that Magic Johnson decided to just go back to being the ultra-successful businessman, not running the Lakers franchise, because the basketball world wouldn't be fair, because Kawhi would have been in the Lakers uniform. If this man was still there with LeBron and AD, I'm telling you what I know. He don't have to. I'm telling you what I know. Now,
all 3 of those guys were out. Yeah, they're all 3 of them were hurt.
Pause.
Okay.
Play.
Well, let me tell you something. They said they had a limp their way to that. All right. Having said all of that, I'm going to tell you it's Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
Why? You want me to tell you why? Because without Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers ain't winning this series. Now, I give the Clippers major...
Pause.
Now, okay, I'm going to reverse that statement here, because I do believe if Chris Paul still got the COVID thing and Kawhi never tore his ACL or hurt his ACL, I think it would have been opposite roles. But, I think the Suns are more of like a better team without both Kawhi, without the Clippers having Kawhi, and without the Suns having Chris Paul. That's just my personal opinion, but...
Play.
Exceptional job. And
Chris Paul's so valuable, though.
Safari, 1. Devin Booker is the next Kobe Bryant. Stephen A. reacts to Suns versus Clippers Game 1 vertical line first take. YouTube window. Pause. K button. Pause. Play. You are currently on a button. To click this button, press Control Option Space. Pause. Play.
Hit 3 threes, and it was just crazy. It was unbelievable. Having said all of that, this is a different level. Because whereas you had Donovan Mitchell and basically nobody else athletically, particularly with Conley hurt, that's not a problem in Phoenix. They're a guard-oriented team with Bridges, all right, Booker, CP3 of these boys.
Pause. Play.
Payne coming off the bench. I like them, but I want to
Pause.
Cameron Payne looked like Chris Paul last night. I will say that he dropped like what 29 and 9, like the crazy stuff. What the hell?
Safari 1. Devin Booker is the next Kobe Bryant. Stephen A. reacts to Suns versus Clippers game 1 vertical line first take. YouTube window. Play. K button. Play. Pause. You are currently on a button. To click this button, press Control Option
you.
Space. Play.
Computer.
Pause. Play.
Devin Booker is the next Kobe Bryant.
Yep.
I'm saying it on national television. Devin Booker
Said it.
is the next
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
It is official.
Pause.
Oh man. Okay. Is that Devin Booker? He is a great scorer. I will admit that. Kobe Bryant, one of the best. He was so good. Probably one of the top 3 shooting guards of all time. Is what you're comparing him to. I think Devin Booker is a great scorer. I think he's his own player. He can shoot the 3. He can do it all. He's a good player. I don't know if he's just gonna have that legacy that Kobe did. I think Devin Booker, if he keeps this play up, I think he's gonna be a Hall of Fame player. Don't get me wrong, but his legacy would for real have to hit hard, and I think you have to put some up more impressive performances. Now he did have the whole like Kobe Bryant like performance in Boston, I believe it was like 70 points in like 2017. Like that was impressive. He's carrying the Suns, but Kobe Bryant, one of the all-time shooting guards, give it 5 years.
Play.
His first playoff appearance, and the brother's a #1 option, averaging over 28, dropped 40 in a triple-double in the first game of the conference finals. And just the way he plays, he's an assassin. And guess what? This Clippers team, you need Kawhi back to knock that kid off.
What?
Pause.
Yeah, he's not okay. He's the only thing he's wrong on is comparing to Kobe right now. Give it a couple years, and I think he will be Kobe. All right. I think that's a very good possibility. I do. The thing is Devin Booker's carrying this team. He's carrying the playoffs, and a lot of these teams. I think the Suns are a strong team, but he hasn't really had like the full experience yet. So, yeah.
Play.
Before the series started, Devin Booker is a mini Mamba. He's the closest thing offensively to Kobe's game in the sense that he can kill you from anywhere.
Yeah.
Kobe was his mentor as well.
Yeah, he's a mini Mamba. Here's
He
the
ain't
thing, and
mini.
I hate this question. I hate it because it's a hard question to answer. Who needs their star more? I'm actually going to say Phoenix needs Chris Paul more, and I'll tell you why. Chris Paul, like James Harden was playing the best basketball of his career. Chris Paul in the last series, the best he's ever been.
Pause.
Yeah, Chris Paul went off, dude. Chris Paul's a beast.
Play. Pause.
Talk about value.
Play.
That was perfect. I always ask Stephen A. because of his relationship with Larry Brown. Like, Chris Paul must be Larry Brown's. Like, that's how perfect. That's exactly how you play it.
Right.
And that was the perfect point guard playing perfectly, right? Now, here's why they need that. Devin Booker gave you a 40-point triple-double at home. You won by the skin of your teeth. By the skin of your teeth. And if you...
Pause.
Yeah, that's why I say with Chris Paul back, I think Chris Paul's so valuable that like that team is just gonna. I would not be surprised to see a pretty far out game tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised.
Play.
Man can't play that way. Man can play. He can play. Paul George can play. Rondo can play. They have a team full of guys who can play. They were on the road without Kawhi, and that late shot by Batum in the fourth quarter, I forgot how much time was left. It looked good out of his hands. May have changed that. Maybe they wind up winning that game. He was off a little bit. That Clippers team is live without Kawhi. I think the Suns need.
All right, we're gonna move on from that. That was a good
Safari
video. Thanks
open
to
for
First Round
29.
Bust on Twitter for
Actions
recommending that
available. Safari,
one.
close all
Shouts out
windows.
to you. I might have. He wants to be on the
Safari
podcast.
map
I might bring him
fake
on.
comp,
You know,
cap,
because
notes, CPU, pod,
just to
new
throw my
key,
topics
pay,
at
no,
partner
App Store,
would be
system, second,
interesting.
photo booth, Zoom, voice memo, Streamlabs OBS,
Last
OBS,
last
Streamlabs
thing
OBS,
here,
window,
and then
start
we're
replay
gonna.
buffer, button. You are currently on end live 0 end stream button.
And then we are gonna,
You are currently on a button
chill
inside of web content.
and
To
wrap
click
up the
this button,
stream.
press Control Option Space.
Recap.
To exit this web area, press
We're gonna be
Control, Option, Shift,
recapping
up
Game
arrow.
1 of the Atlanta Hawks versus the Milwaukee Bucks. Here are my thoughts on this game. This was a awesome game, man. This was fire. Trae Young balled out for 48 points. Hey, Trae Young is a beast, man. Angry Trae Young, he can't be stopped. And you know, Drew Hall. It was a match of the guards. Drew Holiday had a good game too, and I'm pulling the upset. I'm taking the Hawks, but I think it's gonna be a 6 or 7 game series. I'm gonna go Hawks in 7. Because, man, angry Trae Young, him and John Collins, what bruisers, dude. What absolute mad lads they are. What a bunch of cuckoo legends, okay? They are absolutely on it. All right, that's, you know, Blindside Sports. You know, a good show day. I was actually very proud of the show. Peace out, all right? Like the stream, subscribe, watch your sports, all right? Hit me up on Twitter if you got any questions.